In this video, I want to look at whether Bitcoin's a better investment or buying the Bitcoin stocks such as Mara or Riot. Over the long term, I have a chart here. There's no comparison. Bitcoin has massively outperformed the stocks. Going back to 2013, both the stocks are negative. Bitcoin up a huge amount. We go to 2014, same thing. Bitcoin up almost 5,000%, and the stocks are negative, actually lower over the last than where they started a decade ago. But this varies drastically over time. And what we find is that the stocks tend to overshoot when Bitcoin's going up, meaning they perform better than Bitcoin when Bitcoin's going up, but they fall a lot more when Bitcoin is doing worse. So I'm going to remove the stocks here for just a second. And we'll just look at a couple examples. So let's zoom in on this 2020 period to about middle of 2021. So that was a nice time for Bitcoin. And we're just going to compare it. So I'll zoom in on that. And then add the stocks back in. So we can see Bitcoin up almost 800% over that period at its high point. Riot up almost 6,000%, 5,944%. At Mara's highest point, it was up 5,030%. So huge order of magnitude difference between how much the stocks went up and how much Bitcoin went up. So we'll just remove the stocks here again, and then we'll look at a decline. We had a nice decline starting from late 2021 into 2023, basically, when the next rally. So let's zoom in on that period there. Late 2021 to just before 2023 started. And then we add the stocks back. Now we can see during that period, Bitcoin down about 72%. The stocks lost much more. At their lowest points, losing about 95%. Mara dropped over that period 93%. Riot down 86%. So they dropped more. And we see this, if you look at most of the rallies and most of the declines, you'll see this playing out over and over again, where the stocks greatly overshoot when Bitcoin's going up, and they overshoot, sell off much more when Bitcoin goes down. If we move to 2023, we will see the same thing. This year, Bitcoin very bullish, up 160% almost. Riot up 266%. Marathon up 333%. So much bigger magnitude to the upside. But even if you look at this year, 2023, in July and August, we had a little 15% pullback in Bitcoin. And what did the stocks do? They fell almost 60%. So if we zoom in on that area, starting from July, we can see Bitcoin, down about 15%, 14.5%. And the stocks, really big sell-off. 57 down about 52% to almost 60% for both of these stocks. So tiny pullback in Bitcoin, big sell-off in the stocks, and then that's followed up once we start rallying again in mid-October. You have Bitcoin up 58%, you have Marathon up 128%, and Riot up 77%. So what does this tell us? Well, if you want to be involved in Bitcoin, you can get some bigger bang for the buck, both to the upside and the downside in the stocks. When Bitcoin's going up, you're going to get bigger movements to the upside in the stocks generally. So if you're willing to handle the volatility, you could potentially make higher percentage returns. Same goes for the short side. When Bitcoin is falling, you tend to get bigger drops in the stocks, so you could potentially look at shorting those. There is, of course, just the option to hold Bitcoin. Bitcoin itself, already a highly volatile asset. The stocks are just more volatile. So depending, this is not a recommendation for buying or shorting any of it. I'm just showing you some of the data so that you can decide whether you want to, how you want to trade it, and whether you want to trade the more volatile stocks, which have bigger moves to the upside and the downside, or just stick with Bitcoin.